Note to self, think of something to say over the opening theme tune music. Maybe something seasonal. Something like, for example, it's the Into Your Head Christmas special. Except don't say that, because you'll have already said that at the beginning of the upcoming segment, and that will be duplication. No, think of something original to say. Something like, for example, this, or you could sing a song over it and do a tune with your harmonica. Except that would be fucking ridiculous because there's a song playing under this. The idea is to say something over the instrumental part of the theme song and then stop just in time for the singer to start singing. The singer from the punk band who I hired to do the opening theme tune of this program, I paid them handsomely, I can tell you. I paid them $5 through Fiverr.com. Absolutely fucking fantastic. A couple of years ago, said, will you do a song that contains the following words? Into your head, into your head, into your head, into your head, into your head. And they were so good I got them to do another one about monkey nuts, then one about matchstick cats. Anyway, suffice to say, insert something here. This was a note to myself.
Into your head, into your head, into your head, into your head, into your head.
You join me at a tremendously exciting moment. Not only is it Into Your Head number 780, it's the Christmas stroke end of year show, or to put it another way, it's the last episode I'm going to have time to do before the holiday season. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Something holly. Come we now wear gay apparel. Something Christmas. Anyway, you're very welcome to my Christmas special. Chances are there won't be another mention of Christmas or the New Year through the whole episode. It's just a matter of scheduling, though. As I just realised, this is going to be the last show until the New Year, for various practical reasons, including but not limited to the fact that I won't have time. I will have time. I'll be applying it to other things. You can't apply the same time to two different things. Only women are able to do that. Only women are able to multitask. Women can drink and make a podcast at the same time, for example. Just not necessarily a very good one. But you don't realise that till the next day after you've uploaded it and it's too late. But apart from that, no. Anyway, we've a lot to get on with today. Items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be addressed, topics. We've got lots and lots of topics. We're positively booming to the seams with topics. We've got topics coming out of this ball of tin foil. I have a ball of tin foil here. Well, it's not a perfect spherical ball. It'll probably be closer to that thing you're using, badminton, shuttlecock. Although, no, it's not even shaped like that, because even one of those would have a proper shape to it. No, this is just a rough, balled up piece of tin foil. Its best use would be for cats to play with. If I were to throw one of these out through the door now, a passing cat in the upstairs hall, they'd have great fun with it. So I'm not going to do that, because next time we use the fucking vacuum cleaner, it'll get locked up. I'll spend 30 minutes trying to unjam it with a sweeping brush handle that's just slightly too short for the job. That's what'll end up happening. So we won't do that. I'll do anything to entertain my cats, as Meatloaf says, but I won't do that. I would do anything to entertain my cats. I would. I turn on the laser light beam for them and leave it on until the batteries run out. But I won't do that. I think that's enough music for this segment. There's such a thing as overdoing the music, you know. Anyway, on with the show. I have an uncaffeined head at the moment. There's a good reason for that. It's 7 o'clock in the evening, and there's one thing I don't do in the evening, it's record podcasts for one good reason, and that's because I don't drink caffeine or cram caffeine pills down my gob or drink energy drink in the evening. Although I must say I'm tempted at the moment. I plan on staying up later than usual this evening. I still don't want to be kept awake all night. But I do have a glass of energy drink that I poured yesterday, and it's sitting here covered with a piece of paper that I believe I discussed on the previous show or on an outtake from the previous show. I'm not sure which. Suffice to say, let's have a little sip of it anyway. Hair of the dog. Maybe it'll help. Maybe it'll work as some sort of a placebo, or not a placebo, like a what's that thing where you want to protect yourself against a disease, so they inject you with a tiny bit of the virus, and that protects you from it. Except that's not what I want to do. I don't want to be protected from energy drink. I want to have the benefits of energy drink, but only until I want to go asleep, which will be, I'd say, about 3 hours from now. So no, we won't risk any more of that drink, the demon drink they call energy drink.
Hello, this is J. Edgar Case here. Whenever I am listening to fine podcasts, I tune into your head program because it's very clean.
Two cats walk into a stable in ancient Bethlehem. One of the cats goes straight up to whatever's in the middle of the stable. I don't know, a manger. Is there a manger in the stable, or does the stable constitute the manger in its entirety? I'm not sure. I don't know the theological technicalities. They're probably not very important to this story anyway. The two cats approach the manger and say, "Hello, congratulations on the new child. We're cats. I don't know if you've noticed. We're quite wise. Cats are quite wise and intelligent. Either that or they're just smart and evil. Anyway, suffice to say, have you got milk coming out of you?" And the Virgin Mary says, "This seems a little inappropriate." And the cat says, "Inappropriate to what?" And the Virgin Mary says, "Inappropriate to whatever you're doing. I presume you're writing a Bible or something and you're doing research for it." And the cat say, No, it's just a Christmas podcast. A Christmas podcast being recorded at 7:15 of a weekday evening with very little caffeine to aid it. And frankly, the only reason I'm in here, the only reason any of this occurred to your author is because the author's wife is out running a nativity play for her, for your school where she works at the moment. I think that's why I'm here, me and the other cat. And the Virgin Mary says, "Oh, that's great. Well, the more the merrier. Come on in. We always welcome strangers in here, especially animals, because animals are God's creatures. Well, they're everybody's creatures, although I realise as a cat, you don't feel you belong to anyone. You don't feel you're owned by anyone. You're not a piece of property, and I can respect that. But as far as I'm concerned, God, who's technically the father of my child, who I've just given birth to here, God believes that you're his creatures. He says, these animals, they're all my creatures." That's not to say he's trying to slaverize you or anything. And the cat says, "Slaverize, is that a word?" And the Virgin Mary says, "Oh, I don't know. The universal translator does a lot of strange things with the stuff I say here. I've no idea. You realise I'm not talking English here. We're just doing the Star Trek universal translator, or whatever way they explain it away on that. If it's good enough for Star Trek, it's good enough for the nativity story, I can tell you." And the cat says, "Oh, I was wondering how you could understand me, because I'm a cat. I don't even speak any language, let alone English. I don't speak whatever language you speak here in Bethlehem or Jerusalem or wherever the hell it is. What here is it? Where's Bethlehem? Is it? Oh, it's somewhere anyway. It's somewhere in some God-forsaken hellhole." And the Virgin Mary says, "I beg your pardon." And the cat says, "Oh, sorry about that. Got a bit carried away easily there. I tend to get carried away with politics and stuff sometimes. Don't worry your pretty little head about that. And then Joseph pops his head up and says, "Oh, hello there. Didn't see you there." And the cat says, "I'm not surprised. Why, how would you be able to see me from down there?" And Joseph says, "Well, I've a pair of eyes in my head, haven't I? I have a pair of eyes in my head, and they're not eyes that I've eaten and that are going down my trachea. No, they're my own eyes in the front of my head, stuck in my eye sockets and fully functioning. That's how I can see you." And the cat says, "Oh, I see. Well, I've got cat's eyes, so you should be able to see me very well, because I've got cat's eyes lit up in the middle of my face, lit up like the middle of a highway." And Joseph goes, "What's a highway?" And the cat says, "Well, you'll find out soon enough. It's like the low way, except that..." Oh no, that wouldn't make any sense. Well, never. It doesn't really matter what it is, Joseph. You just become a father. Will you stop worrying about crap like this? Go outside and have a cigarette. Just get well away from those bales of hay before you do it. Have a cigar. Isn't that the traditional thing? You have a cigar. And Joseph says, "I'm not sure. I haven't heard of that tradition. Maybe that's a thing in the future or in some other country. I've never heard of it." And the cat says, "Oh, well, whatever. Whatevs. And Joseph says, "Where is this story going?" And the cat says, "I've no idea. Have a surprise left in your life, for Christ's sake. I would have thought you were a man for surprises. You were perfectly happy when God turned up one day and said he'd impregnated your wife. You were happy with that surprise. So don't have a bit of patience. I thought you'd be a bit more tolerant of surprises. Or maybe you've used up all your tolerance of surprises for one lifetime with that little surprise there, which I suppose is understandable. It's perfectly understandable. That's what it is." And Joseph says, "Well, excuse me, may I ask what you're doing here?" And the cat says, You may indeed. We're here for the census." And Joseph says, "Oh, are you now? Are you running the census, or are you taking part in it?" And the cat says, "Of course we're not taking part in it. It's not an animal census." And Joseph says, "So you're running it then, are you?" And the cat says, No, we're here. We're part of the audience for the census. We're here to watch it going on. Think of us as impartial observers. We come along to watch it on behalf of the international community." And Joseph says, "What the hell is an international community?" And the cat says, the cat says something. I don't know where this is going. I only brought this up because my wife was out this evening running a nativity play for the school where she works. That's the only reason any of this popped into my head. I was allowed to write some extra lines for it involving a census and the Irish water billing meter controversy, just to keep the parents entertained. Apart from that, no, I didn't apply to put in any of this cat stuff. Don't worry, I know my limits. I don't push it.
You're listening to
the Into Your Head podcast
from Ireland with your humble proprietor, Neal.
Follow Neal at twitter.com/intoyourheadpod and pretend to like him at facebook.com/intoyourheadpodcast.
I've always been a great believer in the dictum, when in doubt, have a think about it. That's what your brain is for, after all. Your brain is for thinking. It's not there to just look pretty. Your brain isn't there to look pretty. It's not there to allow you to make money as a walking advertisement for porridge, for Christ's sake. If it did, you'd have to have the top of your skull sliced open and on a hinge at the very least all day, so people could look into it. I don't know. That wouldn't be practical at all. So no, your brain isn't there to look pretty or to use for commercial purposes. It's there for thinking. Use it. It's all hooked up already. I think you'll find. It's been hooked up since birth. It's practically grown into you. It's like the circuitry on a cat. Now I know what you're thinking. The circuitry on a cat. Does he mean a mouse? A computer mouse? I do not. I mean a proper bog standard cat. cat has circuitry on it, has circuits. A cat is biologically wired with instincts and things. It knows what to do. It knows when to lick itself, and it does it automatically. And that's because it has its circuitry burnt into it. Oh, there's a car going. I'm not used to recording at night. I saw a car going along the road and the other side of the cat interstate superhighway. Except I didn't see the car. I saw lights. Just lights moving along. It's a bit like seeing a cat, except it's lit up a bit brighter. It's an artificial cat, basically, on wheels. It's not quite as good. You think, oh, that brings you back to the subject, doesn't it? A cat basically has biological circuits on it. It's basically a circuit board. There's no actual proper programmable parts. It's like the type of old computer game you get that would have what's this now? Battery full, remove plug. Fair enough. It's like one of those old computer games or those non-smartphones that have they have one or two apps in them, but they're not reprogrammable. You can't add new programs to it. But the cat can teach itself new programs, all right. Oh, the cat certainly can. You can program the cat by being down in the kitchen every morning at 8 o'clock for 3 days in a row with milk, and then the cat will reprogram its circuits to be down in the kitchen at 7:59 every morning meowing. That's what happens. Except, of course, you normal fucking modern computer geeks who do actual programming look down on that. Like, you look down through your nose at that. You say, oh, that's not proper programming at all. That's not proper C++ programming. It's not. It doesn't have an iOS interface. You can't do in-app purchases on it. Indeed you can't. There's no such thing as in-cash purchases, I'll conceive. But no, that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It does not. Just put that down there. In-cat purchases in the topic listing. In-cat purchases. There you go. Where were we? Oh, that's enough. That's enough of that topic. I don't want to it's quality over quantity there. I could go on about that point about in-cat purchases for 10 minutes and get loads of time out of it. But no, I will move on and start something new. Monkey nuts. That's what they call them. They call them big steaming shit-eating turkey stuffing holly something putting up on the ceiling something. It's very hard to make monkey nuts seasonal at this time of year. It's much easier at Halloween, I find, because monkey nuts practically lend themselves to Halloween, despite not being a seasonal vegetable. I think you'll find monkey nuts are grown any time of the year, or at least not just at Halloween. No, they're not just as Christmas trees are made all year round. My first ever job was in a Christmas tree factory, and I worked there in the summer. I worked in an artificial Christmas tree packing factory in July in the early 1990s, I can tell you. I crammed Christmas trees into boxes. I got covered in paper cuts. I got all sorts of things happen. I got my first ever paycheck. They said, "Oh, very good. You did your work like a good little low cost student. Here's some money." And then I went off away with myself. I went off to the next part of my life, I presume. I don't know. I presume I did. I could probably look up what I did. In fact, I think the second half of that summer, I went to America for some reason on a visit. I can't remember the exact detail. Doesn't matter. You don't need to. I'm not frigging Adrian Mole. I don't diarise every fucking moment of my life in exact chronological detail. Suffice to say, I worked at an artificial Christmas. Well, the Christmas tree factory wasn't artificial, but the trees that they produced were artificial. I can tell you they were as artificial as be damned. You looked at them; they're the most depressing pieces of shit ever. You couldn't even swing a cat in one of those things. First time I got a Christmas tree in this house, I can tell you one of the first things that happened was that a cat climbed up into it and swung in it. I have a photo there somewhere. I'm searching for it at the moment as it happens. I don't know. I don't think I labelled it very well. If I scrolled through my 3,000 cat pictures, I'm sure I'd find it. I know, a bit busy at the moment, and as we've already established, I don't do multitasking like that. No, there's more to life than multitasking, you know. And if you multitask, you give yourself a chance to explore the other things to life. It's just that you don't give them your full and undivided attention because you're busy doing other stuff as well. You're diluting your attention, and that's no way to treat life. Don't multitask your way through life. Give it your full and undivided attention. Give all your attention to life. Don't be going around with one foot in your life and the other foot somewhere else. I don't know. In some computer game, I suppose, called Life 2. Is there a computer game called Life 2? There probably is. Or was that a fictional thing in a film or something that I saw? It could be, now that I think about it. But there are games like that, and if there was a fictional version of those games in the film, that would just embolden my point more, wouldn't it? Surely, especially if it was in that movie with the dream levels. What's it called? Inception. If the fourth level of the Inception dream system contained a game called Life 2, that would be very ironic. Alanis Morissette would have a field day. She'd have a field day. It'd probably be a sports day. They'd have an egg and spoon race, and a three-legged man race, and a potato sack race, and they'd have a parents race, and all sorts of things. Although they wouldn't be able to have it at this time of year. Schools have their egg and spoon races and sports days and field days in the middle of the summer term, usually just before they break up. It'd be except in Australia, of course, they'd probably be having those now. There's ones now. So at least there's a bit of balance in the world. Half one hemisphere is always having their egg and spoon race day at school, while the rest of us are having our Christmas. And then at the other end of the year, it's the other way around. So there's a bit of balance, and that's why the world never tilts over on its axis. Although I understand it does sometimes. I understand there's a phenomenon whereby the north and south magnetic poles swap places somehow. I've read about her once somewhere. Anyway, on with the show. I've just noticed I inadvertently said on with the show through my nose there. I don't know what that was about. I think I just lost the run of myself somehow. I started reaching for the stop button and I decided, fuck this. I'm not going to even finish this sentence properly. I'm just going to mumble my way through it. I'm just going to become lazy and crap. I'm going to become lazy and crap, and I'm going to put everything I have, all of my mind and efforts into becoming lazy and crap, like one of you young people who sit around playing video games all day and doing drugs. And that's what I'm turning into. Except, at least to my credit, I don't do that. I do creative stuff. You're sitting there doing drugs and video games. I'm on here trying to be creative and trying to think about the world. I've already, in the last hour, I've already come up with a thought about cats having biological circuit boards in them. What have you come up with about cats in the last hour, or anything else that you didn't steal from a video game, or you didn't just retweet from Stephen Fry? There's a question for you. Anyway, on with the show. Now, I know what you're thinking there. You're thinking, oh, now that's interesting. That's very interesting what he's done there. What he's done there now is, I can tell you, that's interesting there now. It's very, very, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Well, by commentating on that, you're making it boring. You're making it as boring as be damned. You've just caused me to waste 20 seconds of this program just regurgitating what you're thinking. And I can tell you, even when I rewire it through my creative mind, it doesn't sound any better, I can tell you. So I'd appreciate if you didn't try to put input into my show until you've come on a bit. If you don't mind me saying, no offense. You're just a late developer, or I'm an early developer, or maybe I don't know. Is that a song? It's probably not. Is there a song that goes, I don't know? There's definitely a song that goes, I don't like Mondays. So I should have just gone, I don't, and then I could go into I don't like Mondays. I'm going to do it anyway. Tell me what, because it's Christmas. I don't like Mondays. I don't like Mondays. You see, that was Bob Geldof from his Boomtown Rats days, and Bob Geldof is well known for doing that Christmas charity song about the world and the hungry people and all that. So it's seasonal in a way. Seasonal in a way. That's a song. No, it's a song. It sounds like a song because it rhymes with watermelon in Easter hay, which is a song from. Oh, it's a song from Frank Zappa's Joe's Garage, or Garage, as English non-Americans call it, which was a 3-act rock opera that the older listeners will know about. Because older people are into Frank Zappa musical operas or rock operas or whatever the hell you call them. Anyway, watermelon in Easter hay. That's the thing. That was a thing. So there you go. You learn something new every day. Well, you don't because you're a moron, but I do because I keep my mind open. The thing is, the difference with me is when I learn something new, I teach it to myself. I'm a self-teaching, self-expanding, self-sufficient, self-educator. And tell you, that's how we evolve as a race. We do that. Or anyway, well, not as a race. Well, yes, the human race. I don't mean to make this into a racial thing. Although now that I think about it, the cover of that album that I referred to by Frank Zappa has his white face painted in black, and he's disguised as a character from the rock opera, I presume, or something like that. Look it up. Look up the cover album art of Frank Zappa's Joe's Garage. Unless your country maybe has a different version, because I don't want you to look at that. Oh, there's a reminder. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Absolutely not a problem, and that's fine. I've noted that reminder. In fact, I think I'll snooze it just to be on the safe side. There we go. I've snoozed it now. It's going to have a little snooze for itself, and it'll come back refreshed. It'll still be exactly the same. That's the thing again about these circuit boards, computers, things. I think they're great, but you give them a snooze and it doesn't make them any better. With us biological beings, when you have a snooze, it empowers you, it makes you stronger. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger when you're a human, but what doesn't kill an iPod app just doesn't affect it at all. Which I suppose is a good thing. I'd like something that doesn't kill me, or something that may kill me, to not only to not kill me, but not affect me at all, because it's probably going to affect me negatively if it's the sort of thing that makes me worry about whether or not it's going to kill me. By definition, that's the thing. Maybe I should be a bigger risk taker in that regard. I don't know, but I don't think jumping out of an aeroplane on the end of an elastic band makes you stronger just because it doesn't kill you. Oh no, not to me anyway. Maybe to you. Maybe you're different from me. I'll entertain the possibility that I'm not the same as everybody else in the world. I'm happy to entertain that possibility for as long as this sentence continues anyway. I've always been a great believer in the dictum, never ask a question that you wouldn't want to ask if you weren't feeling under pressure to ask a question, because your only chances are you're just going to waste somebody's time. For one thing, you're going to waste your own time. You're going to waste and while you may think it's my time to waste, I can waste whatever way I want. If you were to ask yourself, if you were to waste even more time because of this nonsense, by asking yourself, do I want to waste time? I think you'd probably find that the answer would be no. The answer would be no. And then you'd say, wait a minute, if that's the case, why am I wasting my time? And then you'd have to spend more time answering yourself about that. I can tell you the answer wouldn't be very satisfactory, no matter how well you try to make it. In fact, the more effort you put into trying to make it satisfactory, the more time you end up wasting, which, if you ask me, is a crying shame. A crying shame, not to be confused with The Crying Game, which was a movie. It had the following soundtrack, theme song. Something, 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 The Crying Game. I know all about the something, something crying game. I think it was an Irish film, was it? I'm not sure. It was Neal Jordan or someone like that in it, or your man out of Daniel Day-Lewis, or one of those fellas. I can't remember now. Seems like it might sound Irish. I don't know. Never seen it. Don't even know what it's about, which is a crying shame. Oh, I've never seen The Crying Game, and it's a crying shame. That's a bit of a joke for you. Well, not a joke as such, because there's no punchline. There's no punchline. You have to have a punchline. You have to metaphorically hit the audience in the throat with your fist if you want it to count as a proper joke in the modern world. That's the way people want their humour now. They want you to punch them in the face with it. They're not happy unless there's metaphorical violence, which apparently is considered humorous nowadays. It used to be back in the old days. You'd stand on stage and you'd say, "Oh, it's very hot out, isn't it? Here's a joke about the weather," and then you'd have a straight man and a funny man. They'd have a duo and they do little jokes and they do magic tricks. They'd take a rabbit out of a hat and they joke about it and all that sort of thing. But now, no, it's all vulgar new wave comedians. They all tell vulgar jokes and they say fuck, wank, arse. That's the new thing. They all swear now as well. These stand-up comedians, they go fuck, wank, arse, and they have podcasts as well. That's what they have. They have fucking podcasts, every single last one of them. There isn't a comedian left in the world who doesn't have a podcast. It's absolutely getting fucking ridiculous if you ask me. They should all go and take a running jump for themselves. Take a long walk off a short pier and see where that gets you. I'll probably get you into the sea. Isn't that a Disney movie soundtrack or something? Into the sea. Into the sea. I want to be something, something into the sea. I think it's one of those old school Disney ones from back before they started swearing and having 3D animations and Shrek and all the rest of it. Back before when artists were used to be able to draw things without having a computer jammed into their face all day. They take out a pen and a pencil and an easel and they draw pictures, and that's how they used to make Disney films in the old days. Now, no, not anymore. I don't even I make a webcomic on the computer. It's the crudest thing you've ever seen, but I still use Microsoft Paint, so I have to admit I'm not completely innocent in all this. But in my defense, I can't draw. So where are we going with this? I don't know. Where are we going with this?
The Into Your Head podcast will be right back after this. We're back with the Into Your Head podcast.
Once upon a time, there was a dog. A dog. Doggo. 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 I can do this much better when I've had caffeine. I can do much better when I've had caffeine, I can tell you. I just did tell you. I just told you. Were you not listening? You probably were. You're thinking, why is he repeating everything? I'm not repeating everything. Well, I suppose I am in a way. But in another way, I'm not. I'm not repeating. It wouldn't be physically impossible to repeat everything. That's not physical. No more than it would be possible to get a full-scale atlas map of the whole world and lay it out over the whole world. Well, I suppose that would, in theory, be possible. But you know what I mean. If I were to repeat everything, if I were to go back to everything I've ever done since the moment I was born and repeat it, then I'd be twice as old by the time I'd finished, and I still wouldn't be finished. I'd only be halfway through. I'd get to this bit where I say, and then I got to age 39, and then I decided I was going to repeat everything I'd ever said since the day I was born, and it went a little something like this, and then I'd be stuck in a trap. I'd be stuck we're caught in, that's an Elvis song, isn't it? We're caught in a track. No, we're caught in a trap. I can't walk back. Because I love you too much, baby. Why can't you see my family tree will at some point include a past wife of the late Michael Jackson. Absolutely fucking fantastic. I'm loving this synthesizer. Jerry from California sent me this as a Christmas gift. Thank you very much, Jerry. Very happy Christmas and New Year to all my listeners. You're absolutely fucking fantastic. Good morning.
You've been listening to Neal tell you stories. About cats, probably. Neal talks a lot about cats. Send your topic suggestions to studio@intoyourhead.com.